So I'm currently reading Fort Wing and I'm actually enjoying it. It's just like so compelling and such a fun read. Like it really gives me back that YA nostalgia feel. So I really am enjoying it actually. And I'm not going to be talking much about it in this vlog because I'm filming a separate vlog. So if you want more thoughts, in-depth thoughts, and maybe like a little bit of spoilers if you read it, or if you don't want to read it but you just want to hear more people talk about it, like I know there's a lot of vlogs right now out there, but I'm normally never on time with the hype train. But my audiobook loan literally had like a skip the line feature, and I saw the other day that I had Fort Wing available, and I'm like, no fucking way. I'm sure if I wanted to rent it out, it would have said several months wait, because that's what happens with new books or recently published books. So yeah, I was like, I have to use this opportunity and read Fort Wing right now, because what are the odds that I was selected to skip the line and, you know, have like less than 7 days to read it. So I decided, why not? But yeah, I won't talk any more about Fort Wing. You can watch my separate video whenever it's going to be posted. Okay, so we're due for a long overdue update. So I'm gonna try to update as best as I can on many topics. First topic is we're gonna get back to vulnerable videos on this channel. I'm doing well. Mental health is good. Knock on wood. We all know how much I was almost not here, but we're good. Mental health, we're good. We're good. I can't believe I'm saying we're good. I don't think I've ever said we're good so emphatically. I'm canceling myself because I can't even speak anymore. So yeah, that aside, everything is good. What is not true swell and well is the fact that like now that I'm like not depressed and like evaluating my life and where I want to go and what I want to be and what I want to do, I'm realizing this thing where I do everything in my day except writing, and that's because I don't make that much money as a content creator, as a freelancer, and everything else that I do. And I'm basically waiting for both of my channels to hit 1,000 subscribers in order to monetize and like to get 4,000 hours of watch time. But it's so hard. Like I look at my channel and I have like almost 100 videos and over on both channels, and I'm not saying that I don't make good quality content or that I'm not, you know, consistent enough, because I feel like in the last few months I've been pretty consistent, but it's just the fact that like it takes time to dedicate to YouTube, and when you start and stop and try new things, it can be harder. So now I'm like committed to always posting every week, but the algorithm is not picking me up yet, and you know, I'm like kind of exploring different topics. I'm doing vlogs that are just like daily life, then I'm doing like more specific vlogs that are coming up, and then I have like writing content like for like to help people with writing, and then I have like bookish content like book recommendations. So I like that going for one channel. Then I have my self-help content that seems to be doing better because the fact that it's very targeted and it's very much like self-help, so it's doing better. But now the subscriber count on that one has plateaued, so now I'm just waiting everywhere. I feel like I'm just waiting, and I'm creating, and as you guys know, I have like 6 TikTok accounts. I don't post on all 6 every day, but I would say on like 3-4 of them I try to post every single day, and the 2 main ones that are attached to the 2 main channels are the ones where I try to post at least 3 TikToks a day, and then post one of those TikToks as a reel on Instagram. So I have been seeing growth. I know I always see growth when I stay consistent, but even when you stay consistent, sometimes it just plateaus at times, and you're like, okay, should I be doing something new? But then when you do something new all the time, it's like, how am I gonna create a audience if I'm always shifting things around, if you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to have like the main places where I want to grow and just keep adding there. But the problem is, okay, I do stress about money, and I do need money to, behind the scenes, things cost, okay? Like buying different tripods to film for different TikToks costs money. Buying a microphone for the camera costs money. Breaking something in your equipment costs money. You know, having hard drives costs money. Everything costs money when you do this type of thing. And it's like the lowest kind of business cost versus like when you start an actual like food chain or whatever, right? But at the same time, when you're starting off and you don't have a job that is, you know, like a 9 to 5, it's really like, so everything I made the last 2 months, I'm reinvesting in buying more books so I can stay relevant, buying more tools, or buying more content stuff. Or like recently I bought like subtitles, so my writing videos, they're gonna have subtitles, and my self-help videos have subtitles too. So I'm just gonna let the cat in because he's gonna meow until... But I know this is what I chose for myself, and I know that like these expenses were to be planned, and then I have expenses for my blog. And the thing is, the expenses for my blog are the ones that are like eating at me, because I spend around like over $1,000 for my blog and tools related to my blog, and yet I don't feel like I've been blogging in the last year and a half. And so I'm always like, oh, I want to start blogging, but how can I blog when I'm supposed to be reading 10 books, when I'm supposed to be creating content for TikTok, creating content for YouTube, etc, etc, etc. And now I know there is a solution, which is like stick with one thing and do one thing. But you know, when you're at home and you're doing this as a living, you feel the guilt to just do one thing. You feel like if you're not working, what the fuck are you doing? You know, especially when you're not making that much money, especially when, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm home, like I should be making more content. But the thing is, the burnout is so real. Like sometimes I feel like I'm reading either for a research for a novel, a research for a project, a research for a blog post or a video post or a TikTok, and it sometimes sucks the joy out of everything. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying essentially is that somehow I don't want to give up, because I love doing this. Like at the end, that's the fucked up thing. I love all of this. I just wish I had more time for writing without feeling guilty, and that I could like continue my path for traditionally publishing and self-publishing. But it's so hard because at the back of my head, everything's all about making money, and how can I make money as quickly as possible? What should I be producing as quickly as possible? What content will like outperform? How can I outperform? How can I, you know, get a click? And then sometimes I do go like a little bit of viral, and then it's like, okay, let's keep going, and then nothing happens, and then, you know, it's hard not to get discouraged sometimes. But once again, I know before someone comments like, you chose this for yourself, you could have got a 9 to 5 and this and that and this and that. I agree. However, this is like a choice that I made. This is something that I figured out, right? I kind of fell into the marketing of like, oh my god, start a YouTube, start a this, start a that. It's gonna be super easy. You can make so much money. And like, it's the fact that I did too many things at once, and I kept giving up on something if I didn't see a result, because I had quit the job that I had. And the thing is, I was working at the same place for 5 years, and that place burned me out. I was working at some point 3 jobs while doing a master's. So to say that I just wanted to stay home and fucking do nothing and just like read books and talk about books and make a blog and talk about mental health and whatever, that's what I did. I think that's what I needed the last 2 years. Like I needed to like believe in myself, go through the fucking pits of depression hell, and then come out stronger than ever. And now it's like, because I have all this insight into myself, into how this type of world works, I kind of realized that a lot of this stuff online is a lot like writing. There's a lot of fucking work in the background that no one fucking sees or appreciate. Oh, I mean, I guess other content creators will see it, but if you try to do it in a like 1 year span, you're gonna burn yourself out. Because the thing is, it's like blogging, YouTubing, TikToking. It takes like a year or 2 years of like really consistent work, and really like you have to be so focused on other things that it doesn't get you down or it doesn't demotivate you. So having said that, I think moving forward, I want to keep consistent and I want to do the things I love, but I want to find ways to set aside time for writing. Freelancing doesn't bring me joy. I mean, to be honest, it never brought me joy. That was something I felt like I had to do to get some kind of income, because it's the place that I got the most income in the last 2 years, I would say. Silas! He's trying to like jump out the window or something. Come back. Stop it. And I did have other jobs. You guys know I did work at some point for a company, and then at some other point I worked at a bookstore. So those were part-time. But the thing with part-time that I absolutely cannot, because as someone who's like neurodivergent and that loves routine and I love to set my own routine, I can't do part-time, because part-time it's like, okay, you're gonna work this shift this there and you're gonna work this and this there. So as much as I hate to say it, I feel like it's time for me to get a maybe full-time job. And so like that, I don't feel guilty for doing writing and reading and just like some regular content versus like trying to fucking go viral every day, which is like the more you... The thing is something that I learned about life is that the more you want something, the less you're given it. Like, it's not that, it's more like the more you attach that like value to it, it can be detrimental, because it can be like you're resting all of your emotions into one thing. So what I would rather right now is find a way to make money that's gonna be like, you know, not doing what I'm doing right now, and hopefully like that I have that time to work on things. I don't know if I'm going to find something, because I've been looking so far and everything is either part-time or, you know, starting income. So I don't know yet what I'm gonna find and what I'm gonna do. Obviously I'm gonna keep on going this way as I've been going, but prioritizing more writing. Like, I want to self-publish my next book. I have 2 next book that I plan to self-publish before the end of summer, so I need to find the time to do the writing for that. And you know, on the other hand, it's like I realized that in the past I didn't take care of myself, and because I didn't take care of myself, everything fell apart. So that's another thing. Every day I need to set aside time for myself, which I've been doing this year, to work out, to walk, to go to the gym and do things like that, to cook for myself, cook healthy, right? So I'm someone who's recovering from a binge eating disorder, and I don't think I've ever spoken about this on this channel. I will be making more content about it in the future, but yeah, I had a binge eating disorder for 2 years, and as a result of that, I kid you fucking not, I gained 20 kilos. Do you know how much 20 kilos is? It's a lot. Like, at some point I woke up a few months ago and I could not recognize myself in the mirror. And I did lose 10 kilo from that, and I'm still like in the process of losing the next 10. But already then I wasn't not happy with the way my body was before I even gained the weight. Like, I've struggled with eating disorders and disordered eating and disordered thinking for like since I was probably like 10 or 5. I don't even fucking know anymore. But now I'm trying to do things the healthy way and like move my body, feed my body good food, cook for myself, and not be like, oh, I'm just gonna smoke cigarettes and drink Coke Diet and not fucking eat for like 5 days. You know what I mean? Because that never helped me in the past. So yeah, I'm trying to lose the weight in a healthy, sustainable way and not attach so much value to weight loss and to the way I look, because then I won't start fucking filming videos anymore, because I'm like so in my head about how do I look, how big do I look in this angle, you know what I mean? Like it gets to you. It fucking gets to you, especially when you go through you know, fluctuation with your weight for so many years. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just working on so many things at once, and it's hard to be like, stop working on things. Well, how? I'm not making money, and if I stop working on things, I'm gonna reduce my opportunity to make money. So long story short, I'm gonna try to find a job and do all of this on the side so I can prioritize more my health and my writing and just feel like comfortable in life, you know, because I am getting older and I really like miss some kind of security. So that's what I am aiming for. This was not the update that I wanted to do. I don't know why. I wanted to do like a reading writing update, and I ended up doing a life update. Silas, stop! I will do another update, I guess, today with the reading and writing portion. But I have been working on Riviera, not writing it, but I've been working on doing the research. So I've been going through these 2 books that I read last year. And I annotated the hell out of these books because these are things that I want to use in my novel. I love how I showed you, but I couldn't show you any annotation. So, and then this one, this is a nice like picturesque version. So yeah, so I've been going through them every day, writing down the important key facts, because my novel is like a mixture of the Before Sunset trilogy, but also like very historical, very literary, and it's about this writer, and she's just trying to like figure things out and work on her next novel because she has writer's block. So she goes to the south of France. Then there's a group of people that she is living with in accommodations, and she basically become friends with them, and they're all showing her around because they're like staple artists and writers in that area. So it's really a passion project that I've had for the last 2 years, but I was so depressed the last 2 years that I did not work on it. All I did was do some reading, some researching, and like daydreaming, but I did not like actively like I did write like 10,000 words last summer, but like then I just gave up because again I went back into depression. Jesus. But yeah, so now I'm ready. Like now I'm just like collecting the last info, reading the last type of books, and I'm ready to like pump the last 60k, 70k of the novel, edit it, and self-publish it. This summer is the summer to do it, so that's what I want to really work on, and that's what I'm trying to prioritize right now.
It's just like, oh, okay. It's just random. And I was busy. I don't know what the fuck is doing. I said, why?
So I'm just closing out the vlog and all the books that I read. Although I didn't really talk about these books and I didn't really show these books throughout the vlog, I am filming some videos related to these books and some vlogs related to these books. So I'm going to keep it as brief as possible and basically just give my 1-sentence review and show you the books. So I read Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I finally finished this book. It's been... I literally started it around my birthday last year and I finished it around my birthday this year. So it was a journey and I needed that 1 year, which spans 1 year in the actual book itself. So it felt really like full circle and very meta. So I really enjoyed this. I just love Elizabeth Gilbert and I'm going to be reading everything she's ever written. And so I had to reread Big Magic 2 while I was at it, and I read this in like one sitting. And it's not much different from the first time I read it, which I read it in like 1 or 2 sittings as well. I do think that when it first was published, I think back in 2017, could that be? I think that makes sense. That kind of checks out. I read it really quickly. I really loved it. Reading it the second time, although I tabbed a few places, it wasn't as awe-inspiring. And it's probably because I already read it before, and probably because I saw her live in person, which was so much more impactful, and I kind of know most of her ideas. And now I feel like between reading The Artist's Way and other books of this genre, it's very much like nothing new to me, but I still really much enjoyed it, and it did give me that boost of confidence that I needed, and there were some passages that I really loved. But I'll talk more in a Elizabeth Gilbert vlog that I'm making, so yeah, stay tuned for that. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but I want to go more in depth than just saying if I liked it or not. Another one that I'm not going to talk about much because I picked this up when it released in November and I just finished it and we're July, so it's been like almost like what, 8 months or something that I've been reading this, and I've been reading it really slowly. I enjoyed it. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't great, but I did still enjoy it. So at some point I'm going to be making another video on writing books, and I'm going to go more in depth and like share what I've learned from this. I've started tabbing it, but I have to go and write notes. That's the thing, I write notes from the books that I read or else I will forget. So that's something I've been working on this year. So once I do the notes, then I'm gonna come and talk more about this book. So yeah, that's Novelist as a Vocation by Haruki Murakami. He basically has like short essays on what it's like to become and be a novelist, and just a little bit of advice and of his own life story. Then I read How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. I've never heard of Jerry Saltz before. I still have to go and like research him in general and his art and writing, but it was a very insightful book. It had a bunch of like ideas and a bunch of ways to exercise being an artist, and I found it really interesting. Like for a short book, like he packed a punch, and actually there's artwork in this book, so that's also a bonus. So honestly, I do recommend this. I think this is good for all kinds of creators, but I read it for my Riviera book where I have like a few characters that are artists, and yeah, like as always, it goes through art and art history as well, and I found it really, really fascinating actually. So I will be writing down notes and coming back again on a future video, but just to say that I did enjoy this one, and it's been blurred by Austin Kleon and Steve Martin as well. And the last book I finished is Fort Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I'm not going to talk much about Fort Wing because everyone has been talking about Fort Wing, and also because I am filming a vlog, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But I did enjoy it, so that's that. So those are the 5 books that I finished in the last 2 weeks. Now the books that I'm still currently reading, well, I'm working my way through these 2 books as I am always doing, and it's the French Riviera, a literary guide for travelers. I am actually making headway finally. I am going through all the chapters and through all of my annotations, write them down on a Word document before I can start writing again, so that's good. And I'm finally reading this past the point of where I stopped last time, and it's Travels through the French Riviera, the Artist's Guide to the Storied Coastline from Menton to Saint-Tropez by Virginia Johnson, and it's basically just like 6 of the most common places, and there's drawings and images and guides, and yeah, really love this book as well. Also halfway through Royer by Francesca Rees. Like this book is actually a big book. It's like 380 pages, and it takes time to get into it because the language is very, let's call it as it is, pretentious, but I love pretentious language, so right now I'm like falling in love with it. And I'm going to be reading a bit of Chanel's Riviera, Tender is the Night, and again I'm still going to be reading In Montmartre. This one is like takes a lot of energy, and this one as well, I mean the Chanel's Riviera. So I'm just taking my time with those, and I want to finish Tender is the Night this week, so we will see how far I get into these books in the next vlog. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit everywhere. I think moving forward I'm gonna have some unfocused vlogs and then some focused vlogs, and I'm gonna have also some reading vlogs and writing vlogs, so I'm pretty much all over the place until I can get the Riviera research down, and then I can be more focused and more, you know, on my game with posting and what I'm posting about. But for now, until I can get to writing Riviera and not having to think about all the research, it's going to be a bit chaotic. So I'm anticipating for the next 1 week or so, it's going to be like that until I can just coast and write. And yeah, so writing vlogs are coming soon, reading vlogs are coming soon, as well as writing and reading related videos. As always, everything is linked down below. I hope you're enjoying your journey to writing, your journey through discovering and reading new and amazing books. If not, I just hope that you're having a great time. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. I hope that you are falling in love with life and experiencing life the way you want to experience it. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!